Hi friends, Joseph Anthony here, and welcome to this quick update video that I've got for you for February the 3rd. And so we've got a lot going on. If you're paying attention, I'm sure many of you are, a lot of the stuff that I said was going to happen is starting to take place. And I'm basing that on the astrology and my own, spidey senses. So I'm going to show you some of the things that are going on. If you're not aware of them, please research them for yourself. We astrologers have known that this is going to be a tremendous year for change, and we haven't seen anything yet, but we are beginning to see the beginning stages of all these changes. So this video I've called Markets Take a Nosedive as Predicted. And this is Monday morning, and we're seeing a lot of the markets around the world going down, and that is because major moves that are being made. So you've got to understand what's actually happening. And this is the beauty of astrology and understanding the controlling mechanism of this planet. They are panicking because the whole financial system, the giant Ponzi scheme that they've been playing for the last 200 years, is now collapsing. And this is worldwide. This is not just in the United States. And this is why you have the BRICS nations, creating their own currency. You've got other countries storing up and stocking up on gold and silver. And you've got the United States going through a major turbulent change because, the country is basically bankrupt. And Mr. T is in there basically to oversee the bankruptcy of the United States as he tries to rebuild or create a new system. I'm very suspicious of all of it. I don't care who it is. And so I suggest you do the same. Do your research. I've talked about this in prior videos. They want a new currency that involves digital identification and, another system that is not backed by anything. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. But we are at the beginning stages of this. So I'm going to go through some of the astrology charts. I'm going to show you what's going on. And please research it for yourself. It's overwhelming now. The evidence is overwhelming. And, find sources that you could rely on for your information. You cannot go to mainstream media anymore. Even though Fox is trying their best, they're still, part of the deep state on some level. But at least they're giving you some more information that is in line with what's going on. Okay, so let's dive in and show you what I was talking about. Of course, I did the New Moon Outlook video on the 29th. I talked about how this new moon in Aquarius was going to set the wheels in motion for shock and awe and surprises. And Aquarius is associated with all of that, but it also is associated with technology, innovation. This is a symbol in astrology that does not like doing things the ordinary, traditional way. It likes to break barriers, and it likes to do it in a surprising, rebellious way. So we're beginning to see that, especially with Pluto here for the next 19 years. So we see this new moon activated some form of energy. Now, at the same time, the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus right here in retrograde, which also was getting ready to go direct motion, which means its energy starts to come back and becomes stronger. And I'll show you what I'm talking about there. But at the same time, we've got this conjunction going on with Pisces energy. Now, if you understand the Pisces energy, it is about spirituality, compassion, understanding, giving, sacrificing, yes. But at the same time, the Pisces energy has a tendency to dissolve matters, to get rid of them, to make them into like fog or a ghost. That's the energy that the Pisces energy has. Okay, so we see here symbolically the new innovation, the shock and awe, the surprises, at the same time dissolving things, making things go away, disappearing. Okay, and this is what this new moon triggered. And what do we see? We see plane crashes. And by the way, Aquarius is associated with airlines and flight. Okay, so we also saw this one in Pennsylvania. We saw the F-35 going down in Alaska. And there's another story here. I believe this was from Fox. A plane that had one of its engines on fire on the runway. So they had to, obviously shut that one down as well. I think this was Houston to New York, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, here's the title to it. You could research it. But again, we're seeing issues with planes and airlines. which all falls under the umbrella of chaotic energy, and flight, which is under the umbrella of Aquarius or Uranus, which is one and the same. So we see this coming forth. We also saw this on the second major explosion in a refinery in California. That absolutely falls under the umbrella of the Aquarius-Uranus energy. Explosions, sudden change, disruption, that all falls under the umbrella as well. Of course, I can't get to all the news stories, but I'm sure there's more, okay, that's not being reported on mainstream. We also saw the dog and pony show in the Senate confirmation hearings, of course, with RFK and these two clowns down below who are hypocrites, and a lot of them are, So again, we're seeing the disruption, the rebellious nature, the breaking through barriers with information. And so we're going to continue to see this, friends. As long as Pluto's in Aquarius for the next 19 years, it will cut through a lot of the malarkey that we think is real. Okay. We also saw the China DeepSeek AI becoming big news, which falls under the umbrella of technology. Okay, so we're seeing this, major concerns over this. They've done it cheaper, faster, and of course, AI is such a tricky part of our existence right now, because part of it is going to help us, but on the other part, it could turn into Skynet from the movie Terminator, and next thing you know, you've got robots that are basically, you can't reason with, you can't show any compassion towards. And by the way, Boston Technology or Boston out of MIT are creating robots that are almost realistic. So, and Japan has been doing it for years. So this is the danger of AI. Anyway, but let's go to Uranus. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and it went direct at the end of the month on the 30th and the 1st, February the 1st. So when Uranus moves direct, it's like a sudden, disruption, a sudden wave, a movement going forward. So what do we see here? Here we see on the 1st, we see Uranus has now gone into direct motion, not retrograde anymore. But at the same time, we see this major conjunction, including the transiting moon. Neptune, which represents dissolving, illusions, fantasies. Venus, which represents partnerships, money matters, relationships, values of all kinds. And the North Node has just slipped into Pisces as well, which is the direction, where we're heading, what we're going for, what we're striving for. And you see Saturn also not really tightly connected, but still in the sign of Pisces on the outskirts. So we have a major conjunction going on here, which is dissolving things, bringing things to light, and especially in government, which is under the rulership of Saturn. Neptune, the spiritual aspect, we see a resurgence of the religious right around the world coming to the forefront, okay? And then we have Neptune, which is transiting Pisces, which actually works very well. Pisces in Neptune is exalted, which means it flows a little bit better, but still it has the tendencies to dissolve and make things unrealistic. But now we see the North Node, and we see a major conjunction going on here. And this is all from the 1st through the 3rd. So we're seeing Uranus waking up, and we're seeing all this sort of energy that's dissolving something. So what is it dissolving? Not only our belief systems and our values, but we know Mr. T has basically announced tariffs which are going to be implemented by midnight tonight. I'm doing this video on February the 3rd. So by midnight tonight on Mexico, on Canada, and China. And believe me, they're not happy about it. But if you understand what's really going on, this is a strategic move. This is a move to negotiate. But more importantly, the United States has to have some sort of income coming in, because we can't keep printing money because it's fake, phony money that nobody wants anymore. And the inflation is going to continue to skyrocket through the roof. So what he's trying to do is several things here, in my opinion. One, bring in income to the Treasury. But two, more importantly, he's trying to create an environment in the United States where companies will actually come here and build factories, and they won't have the tariffs anymore. So he's trying to create jobs at the same time. And there's a third component to this, where they're definitely talking about getting rid of the IRS. And he's already mentioned this. So here is another, this is from the U.S. Treasury Department. If you haven't seen it already, I did post it on my social media platforms. U.S. Department of Treasury withdraws of the network of central banks. Okay, so this is indicating a major move that's taking place here with a change to the financial system, as I've been talking about for years, and so many others have been talking about it as well. Believe me, friends, when you go down this rabbit hole of truth, you begin to see the bigger picture. And it's not what mainstream tells you or what you read in any book. You have to do the research yourself. But here you see also a bill that's being introduced into the House, H.R. 25, to remove the IRS, okay, to abolish it. Let's see what happens, friends. Okay, we're seeing all the indicators here. Of course, we're seeing this one here, and this is a big one. The money laundering scam that's been going on for hundreds of years, if not thousands. But here we see it so evident. And how do we know this? Because even Luke Radowski, who's a fantastic reporter, he's got his own channel and everything, he posted this about Zelensky, and I'm not going to read it here, but he says they received $75 billion of 177, but I don't know where the money is. Gee, imagine that. Who do you think stole it? It's basically a money laundering operation. Many of us know that this country is a money laundering operation. I've been saying this for a while if you've been following my videos, and so many others have as well. Okay, the money gets funneled back to the big banks, to the politicians, to the people in power. That's how it works. Okay, so let's go back to this Venus-Neptune conjunction. Today is the 3rd. I took the liberty of creating this post. I do post this stuff in my private community first. The inner circle. The link is down below if you want to join. There's a free 7-day trial. And so here we see the conjunction, the massive conjunction in Pisces, which has a tendency to dissolve matters, as I already mentioned. But at the same time, we have the transiting moon in Aries, which represents the self. Early morning hours at 5 a.m., it made an exact conjunction to Chiron and squaring the Mars, which is the ruler of Aries. So we're seeing some disruption here. But again, I'm giving you the time frame between the 29th and today, and you could see all the disruption that's going on. This is the power of astrology. It gives you an indication of what's happening. It doesn't mean it's going to happen for sure, but it gives you an idea of what the trends are, what the cycles look like. So if you know how to read them, you could see them evolving, okay? And it's always easy to do once the event has happened. So the transiting moon conjunct Chiron, which is a wounding or a healing or something that needs to be resolved, action to heal or resolve issue. That's what it symbolically represents. But unfortunately, it's squaring Mars. So it's a restless, overreacting kind of energy. So this is why we see the markets right now overreacting. And of course, Mars is in Cancer, the sign of the United States. So everything is happening in the United States. We're the trigger point. We're also seeing this. Dollar and oil stock markets fall as Trump tariff markets wrap. And we're seeing it all over the news. And again, it's the alternate sources. This is Fortune. There's another one from the Economic Times. And everyone's talking about it this morning. So I figured I had to come out and do a video just showing you the connection between the astrology and what's going on right now. And so we see stock market hemorrhaging $1 trillion. Of course, the whole stock market is rigged. If people don't understand that, they got algorithms, and the big banks are controlling these algorithms. They make major moves. They make major shifts in the market. Okay? So people already know this, that they're aware, they're in the markets. So the other big news that's coming out, which is, mind-blowing in a sense, Musk and the Doge team is in the Treasury there tinkering around, and they revealed an unprecedented amount of corruption and money laundering that's taking place. Okay? And here's the article from Zero Hedge. Just Google this title here. Musk reveals Treasury has been auto-paying everyone, including terrorist groups. Gee, imagine that. Okay? So we're seeing this. He's been posting this on X. It's incredible. Here, there's one of the posts that he had. The Doge team has discovered, among other things, that payment approval officers at the Treasury were instructed always to approve payments, even if it's to known fraudulent or terrorist groups. They literally never denied a payment in their entire career, not even one. Okay? Money laundering at its worst, friends. And this is Rob, I don't know his last name, but he posted this as well. Okay. That the Treasury Secretary, who was actually appointed by Mr. T, is now resigning because he's worried. Just like all the rats are fleeing the ship right now because the scheme is being unfolded. It's being discovered how the money system works in this country. And this is part of the disclosure process. This is the part that people are not aware of. And now the average person is starting to understand it, I hope. But this is why I do these videos. This is why so many of us in the truther community do these videos. Is to get the information out, to share the, to shed the light on all this darkness. Okay, and then we also have the U.S. aid headquarters is closing as well because it's another scam. Yeah, okay, closes its headquarters, staffers on Monday as Musk says Trump supports shutting down the agency, U.S. aid. This is another money laundering facility that's been taking place. They've been paying everyone. Here's a post that I found online. Very interesting. This is breaking. The Trump admin is moving to shut down USDA, and the deep state is furious. Of course they are. Their money's drying up. Why? Because the U.S. aid isn't really a humanitarian aid agency. It is a covert intelligence arm funding coups, protests, and regime changes. You could see, friends, that this is just corruption after corruption that has been taking place here. It's incredible to watch and witness right now. Many of us have known this for years, but now hopefully more people will know about this. And please spread this video far and wide and many others because they're showing you how the corruption works. Now, if you really want to know, this is one of my favorite researchers, Catherine Austin Fitts, and I've been following her for years. Her and Whitney Webb. And she put a video together, and you want to watch, I think it's around 7 or 8 minutes. She really gets into the nuts and bolts of things about what Mr. T is doing, what the possibilities of AI controlling the monetary systems are. There's no really subtitle. They speak in English at about the 6-minute mark, so don't worry about the subtitles here. But here is the title that you want to watch, okay? Also, now, the big news coming in, the big enchilada, if you will, is going to be on the 4th all the way through June the 6th when Venus enters Aries. Now, this is a very impulsive alignment. This is a very conflicting alignment because Venus does not work well in Aries. And then we have on March the 1st, the retrograde of Venus. So I promise you, friends, from February 4th through June the 6th, there will be more chaos and stupidity and revealing and showing people how bad it is that's going to be coming out. Because Venus represents partnerships, financial matters, people who are enemies, anything to do with values are going to be exposed. And this could also involve military because Aries represents the military, not just in our country, but around the world. So we are going to see a lot of conflict coming in between this period. Okay, so I'm not saying this to be pessimistic. I'm saying this to just prepare you psychologically. If you know that the energy is going to be disruptive, you try and center yourself the best you can and go, I understand what's happening. Okay, let's deal with this. But this is going to be a major time frame. Now, short term, we have this full moon coming in on the 12th, which has that T-square again, very volatile. So from now, February the 3rd through the 12th, or maybe even a couple of days afterwards, we're still seeing volatility here. We're still seeing unpredictable energy coming into the mix. And so more announcements, as I've predicted in these videos with the United States, more surprises, more shocking information, more people being exposed. This is what's coming, friends. And the system is going to continue to change. There's no turning back after this, friends. I've been saying this for a while, especially when Saturn and Neptune leave Pisces and go into Aries, which is this year. One is at the end of March, the other one is at the end of May. We will have something new coming in, but in the interim, there's going to be, conflict. I'm sorry to have to say this. Okay, I don't have any pleasure in saying that. It's just the way it is, because the system is so broken and so corrupt that we have to fix it now. And this is why Mr. T was brought in to try and change the system. and we'll see where it goes. We'll see what happens to it, okay? Because this is very important. So keep your eye open this week into the 12th. Now, if you want to know more, I talk very freely on my Inner Circle community. Not only do I do the monthly astrology, I do the weekly overview, and I talk about what's going on. And so we teach astrology there. We do Zoom calls every Sunday. Every Sunday, the members are on with me. They ask me questions. We go over birth charts, and we talk about all the political nonsense going on as well, because this is very important right now. We're going through massive changes. Okay, so consider joining. There's a free 7-day trial. And there's so much more to do in there. It's a whole community, and a lot of people understand what's going on. They post a lot of stuff that's, not on the major forums. So you might want to check it out. There's a link down below. Okay, but all through this nonsense, always remember this, friends. This is what I do every day. I remind myself of who I am, really. Every time I look in the mirror, I realize I'm the energy in the suit. And that's the key to getting through all of this nonsense right now. Okay, don't go overboard. Don't get afraid. Just realize who you are, and we'll get through all of this. All right. So have a great week. Keep your eyes peeled, and let's see what happens. All right, friends. Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.